My conversation with Kim of Like Tesla is coming up next.
Taking over the world, electrifying the world, E4 Electric!
Welcome to E4 Electric, your number one source of unbiased electric car news. If this is your first time here, that's okay. We can still be friends. And really, all you have to do for that is smash that subscribe button down there. That way, not only you won't miss anything moving forward, but also become a part of this amazing community. All right, as you know, I was on Kim's channel like almost a year plus ago, and she's never been on mine. So we've kind of corrected that at the Model Y unveiling last week. She was there, obviously. All the Tesla YouTubers were there. As you know, I already released my interview with Zach and Jesse and Gally and Eli, the Starman, and Tom from Inside EVs. So this is the last interview that I'm releasing from that batch, and this is a good one. And so actually, not only we're getting pretty good perspective from Kim, and as you know, their channel is kind of a family vlog about just how the Tesla fans, and it's very different from everything else. But also, I have to say, as we will see in the middle of the interview, we talked about something that happened earlier in the day, and I asked her if it's cool to say that on camera. And as you know, when I hang out with this Tesla fan YouTubers, they're not really that big fans of me, and as you can see, when they do come on my channel, a lot of times that interview they never posted on their channel, on their Twitter feed or whatever, which I kind of find a little weird because it's them talking to me, but it's a little weird sometimes. But Kim actually was pretty honest with me off camera, and she said, Alex, you kind of turned on us. And I was like, I appreciate that. Like, that's and by the way, it's factually correct. I guess I did. And if you watch my channel, you know why. And I had that conversation with her on camera. But I just want to say I really appreciate the honesty and the fact that we talked about it on camera, as you'll see just in a couple of minutes. But generally speaking, I always use this sports analogy, right? Some people are huge fans of a particular team. It's all about the team, the logo, the players, and everything. So for example, some people follow San Jose Sharks as a hockey team, but some people are fans of the sport, right? They like watching highlights and they follow individual players and look at the stats and they like playoffs, and they're just fans of the sport, right? And there's nothing wrong. The world needs both. As you know, what I mentioned in the video later is that Tesla, like extreme Tesla fanboys are also needed because they need to outweigh everybody else who the big gasoline driving, all American guys who just park the superchargers and think that, electric cars is BS and the global warming and all that stuff, right? Just needs to be extremes on both ends, and I want to have the extremes on my end, and I like them. And I used to be one too, by the way. Anyway, I think I've gone a little too much. I'm even sweating from the excitement. Anyway, you'll see that in the interview. Before we get to it, I just want to mention that this channel and this video is sponsored by Accelerate Auto, the third-party extended warranty for all electric cars, including the Tesla Model 3 and an upcoming Tesla Model Y, I'm assuming, up to 125,000 mile coverage, only $100 deductible. And if you browse in the description of this video, you'll find yourselves with an extra $100 discount code specifically for this audience. Make sure that when you apply, click on the link that's specific to your state. All right, guys, without further ado, here's my conversation with Kim of Like Tesla at the Model Y unveiling event. Well, we just saw the Model Y unveiling. Your thoughts?
I definitely think that it is a car that needed to be made. I think it fills a gap in the marketplace. It is a lot like the Model 3. It is basically a slightly bigger version of the Model 3. There is a third row. But it's going to be tight for people to sit back there. But I think, like what we were saying earlier, it has a hatchback, and that's really important, especially for dog lovers out there, to have that option. I wish I had more time in there to really explore to see if that second row will fold flat, things like that. I didn't get enough time, but it felt amazing to be in it. It felt almost like a performance, even though it wasn't. So I'm excited, to go in a performance Model Y now and see what that feels like.
Do you think you guys will get one?
Right now, I'm going to say no. We have a Model X, which I think is the best car Tesla makes. And
Agreed.
Actually, let me go further. It's the best car ever made.
I agree 100%. Best car ever made. And then we have a Model 3. My husband drives the Model 3. I drive the X. So really, it's up to him if he would ever want to trade that Model 3 for Model Y. And I think maybe if we did a performance Model Y, maybe then.
I think they're negotiating right now. He's behind the camera as always, but
Maybe then, he would go for it. The third row, so it's tight, but you could fit. We have young kids, and when they're out of car seats or just in like the booster base, they could fit back there. And I think that's who you could fit back there. I don't think a full-size adult could sit back there.
Yeah.
But
all right. Well, earlier we were talking, and me and you were walking, and
I was giving you a hard time.
you were giving me a hard time. But listen, actually, a lot of people give me a hard time like that. There is something to it. I used to be a huge Tesla fanboy. My channel used to be called Everything Tesla.
Yeah.
And then I switched and I started, criticizing Tesla more and promoting some of the brands that were coming out, some of the legacy manufacturer brands where people saying,
Yeah.
well, why are you promoting brands that are the problem, right? I have my own view, but tell my audience what your thoughts are on that, and why do you think that Tesla is the best brand out there, and people maybe shouldn't be as trusting to other upcoming brands or the legacy brands that are coming out and now kind of changing their minds?
Well, I think Tesla has such a leg up at this point. I mean, they have the supercharger network. I think that that's something that nobody can compete with at this point, where they are with their autopilot. There's so much that goes into them that it's hard for other car companies, I think, to compete with that at this point.
To be fair, there is Electrify America and Ionity in Europe, and they do like 350 kilowatts, which is a moot point right now because
Yeah.
no car could take it. But there is competition that's starting to grow. But
There is competition starting to grow.
Yeah.
I agree with
Yeah.
that. I agree with that. And I'm like all for that. I think that's, our channel, obviously we focus on Tesla. It's
Yeah.
called Like Tesla, which was not started just because we like Tesla. It's also started because people make fun of me for being a Valley girl. But, we love all EVs. We're all about just electric cars in general and supporting that and supporting the overall mission. And that's, I think, for me, one of the reasons why I've always loved Tesla has been just their mission. So.
And I'll tell you something. I hate the fact that I'm no longer a Tesla fanboy. I remember the days when I was one of the first ones to get the Model S 2012, and I remember being really excited. I hate the fact that they kind of beat it out of me, unfortunately. And maybe it's because I just was unfortunate enough to have the worst experience ever. But I am excited about other brands. As a matter of fact, when we did a collab, we did a Lucid, right? The
Yes,
Lucid Motors stuff.
exactly. Yeah, that was like about a year and a half ago or so.
Yeah. So, but at the same time, and I think I was talking to Tom from Inside EVs, who are actually kind enough to run the camera right now. I said, I want the Tesla fanboys to be out there because they're still pulling everybody in the right direction more than anybody, right? And more even me, right? So I would like to agree to run, to just, I don't know, I was going to say agree to disagree, but we're not even disagreeing, I guess. But anyway,
Well, I think it's important to hold truth to yourself. So if you do have an issue or something happens, tell the whole story. Don't just tell the positive side of everything. If there's something that's bothering you or something that happens, be honest with people out there so they can.
Which you recently have, right?
You for
really,
sure.
So my experience was kind of like yours. It's just multiplied by 100, and then that's how they got
I
me.
know.
But
so I'm sure if that had happened to any one of us, we would be at the same place, and you were just telling your truth.
yeah.
So.
But here's the thing. I'm excited about this. This is a huge step. This will be the most sold electric vehicle once it's in the market, period. Last question. Where would you like Tesla to be at the end of this year? Elon, Tesla, the production and everything, if you were to rule the world.
We're at the end of the year.
At the end of this year, yeah.
I think just keep doing what they're doing. I think that it's a hard question.
Really?
I think just keep doing what they're doing at this point. Continue to grow strong. I think building up the superchargers, getting the supercharger network out there everywhere. I would love to see something with the S and the X. So that they could take the new supercharging. and just continue that. I think that other automotive companies too are starting to take notice of them at this point. They're all really noticing they're losing some of their sales to Tesla. So just continue to grow, and I think it's so cool now because it's like really reaching that mass market. So it's just, you know, that continued growth at this point.
All right, well, that was fun. And I think all of my interviews from that day were fun. If you haven't seen the one with Gally, which was like literally at the exactly same spot, and with Zach and Jesse from earlier in the day, I think that's as much fun as I had in a while. I appreciate honest conversations, and I like talking to Kim as well. So I hope you guys enjoyed it as well. If you have not visited her channel or subscribed, I put the link in the description of this video so you can browse there and become a fan of her channel as well. Let me know who you guys think I should interview next, if they of course agree. But so far, I think I've had a lot of cool YouTubers on my channel. I hope you enjoyed it. Looking forward to your comments. Other than that, see you next time, and remember to stay charged.